Thanks so much. Welcome. And let's welcome Alessandro and his host parents, Nicole and Jeremy.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us live today. We have so many curious and excited students who are watching right now. So I'm going to start out with Alessandro. Alessandro, could you tell us a little bit about why you decided to come on exchange?
Okay, I decided to do this experience because I think it's one of the best experience that a teenager could do. So you have to leave your country and you have to come to the US. And secondly, because I think that the English is the most important language that a teenager and a person has to know. Because now, if you want to find a job, you have to know the English. So firstly, I decided for the experience that is one of the best in my life, I think. And secondly, for the English, because it's really, really important.
Well, your English has improved so much since you have been here in just a few short months. I'm so proud of you. And can you
Thank
tell
you.
that? Can you tell how much your English has improved?
Yeah, I arrived here 3 months ago, and my English was good, but wasn't so good. I mean, I could speak a little bit and I could understand a little bit, but I didn't know a lot of terms that I know now. So I improved. I mean, for improving your speaking and your understanding, you have to speak and to hear the American friends and American people. So I try to do my best to spend a lot of time with my friends and my family. And I think this is the best way for learning English in less time. So in these 3 months, I improved my English a lot. Now I'm not perfect, but it's very good. It's better than 3 months ago.
Well, I definitely agree with you, and English is a great exchange is a great way to improve your English while you're on the program here. So, Alessandro, I have another question for you. What is something you really love about your host family, the Painters?
Yeah, okay. My host family is really similar to my Italian family. I mean, here there are a lot of people. In my Italian family, we are only 4, but they are really similar. They have similar habits to my Italian family, so school and sports. But one thing that is really important for an host family, I think, is because they are always happy. I mean, they always laugh and they always try to find something for me. For example, I have school in the morning and they will bring me to practice. For example, today I have a football game. So they will find something every day for me. So this is the most important stuff for an exchange student and for an host family too.
Well, I love the Painters just as much as you do, so I'm so happy that you're living with them. And you mentioned school, and you're about to go to a football game, which is really exciting. And I'm grateful that you joined us before the big game today. Let's talk a little bit about school. How has school been going for you, Alessandro?
Oh, for me, school now is amazing. I mean, it's really different to Italian school. They have different time and a different way to teach and to explain the subject. But I received the report card 2 days ago, and all my grades are A. So I'm very proud of me. And I mean, I think the American school is probably for me is better than Italian school, only because they give to the teenagers a lot of time outside the school to spend time together, to do sports, and we have to study only at school, more at school. So we, for example, learn at school, we do our homework at school, and when you finish school, you have time for hang out with friends or for doing sports, for spend time with your family too. So I think that is very good. I mean, I love this school. I really love it.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, what is one of your favorite memories so far?
Of course, the first day that I arrived here is probably I mean, if I think to this experience, the first day that I arrived here is, I think, one of the most important in my life too, because I changed completely my habits and all the stuff. But I love the trip in Chicago with my family, my host family, and Emmanuel and Jamie too, and other exchange students. And I love because I did new sports like basketball and football. I think that every day here is one of the most important for me because I have only 6 months that are not a lot, and I have to like to join in this new culture and to like spend a lot of time with my friends, with my family, because when I will come back to Italy, it's all finished. So I try to like enjoy my time every single day.
Well, the good news is that they will always be your family. So I hope one day you can come back and visit, or maybe they will go ahead and visit you. But I love what you said about cherishing every day and really thinking about that in terms of how it impacts you on a daily basis, spending time and getting to know your family and also in school. So let's ask Emanuele some questions as well. Hey there, how are you?
Hi.
Emanuele, what do you enjoy about being an exchange student in the US?
So, especially with my family, we love go to Chicago, and I spend a lot of time with them watching football games or I don't know, watch movies, and we hang out a lot, and I like with my host dad cook. He loves to cook, yeah.
I love spending time together, and it's so nice to see you with the Corcoran family as well. They're really great family. Definitely sports fans, can tell you that. So hopefully you have learned a little bit about American sports. Tell us a little bit about your American high school and what classes you are taking.
So in American school, we have 8 periods. I have personal development, is gym. I have physics, chemistry, pre-calculus, math, and I have creative writing, English, and use history. And I took a study hall. It's just an hour for do your homework. And I think it's good for me because I have football during the afternoon. So it's a good way to do homework.
I'm so impressed that both you and Alessandro have joined football, because that's, I would say, a newish sport to a lot of exchange students, and being able to learn the rules and participate in a sport or activity in addition to all of your coursework is really impressive. That's great. I can't wait to hear more about that. Let's ask a little bit about your host family. What is a family activity that you did together that was special for you?
So for me, I think it's special cook with Mike. It's my husband, and we like especially go to Chicago, travel, and I think watch movies.
Yep.
Yeah. You should. I think you should try to spend good time with your family. Be confident, and that's it.
That's really great advice. I would love to also be able to cook with Mike, because I hear he makes a mean chili. So I would like in on that cooking experience. Hopefully you can also teach him a few of your family Italian recipes. That could be something on the docket.
Yeah, made tiramisu. It's delicious.
Ooh, I feel like we should get some cooking tutorials from you. Maybe that's another EF Exchange live video segment. Emanuele, what advice would you give to exchange students coming next school year?
I think you should be open-minded and try all the food, talk with people, don't judge, and I think you should not be scared, because it's part of the experience, you know. You can have hard moments, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, and that's those ups and downs. That's really part of growing and your personal development.
Sure.
Alessandro, do you have any final words of advice for these exchange students watching right now who are coming next school year?
Yeah, of course. I have two advice that are the most important, I think. The first advice is don't be afraid to speak and don't be afraid to ask if you don't understand something. I mean, more you speak, more you improve your English, and more you can improve your English in less time. And more you ask, for example, if you don't understand something about, for example, when the teacher explains history or any type of subject, you have to ask because they are really open with you, and they are so glad to have you in their school. So they are so glad to help you. So if you don't understand something, you have to ask. And more you speak, don't be afraid to speak, because they know that you're not the best at the first month to speak English, but it's normal. And they really want to help you. So don't be afraid of not anything.
That's really excellent advice. No one is expecting you to come over and speak fluent English. And so if you don't understand something, like Alessandro and Emanuele said, ask either in that moment, or you can even write it down and say, you know what, on a break, I'm going to ask my teacher this. Or we speak in a lot of expressions or idioms in the US. And sometimes we don't realize that it's not a very clear description of what we're trying to say. So if you don't understand, just ask. And that's also how you're going to improve your English and really build trust and build a relationship between you and your teachers and your families, because they know you're being vulnerable. You're not afraid to say, hey, I didn't understand that. So that's excellent advice, and we're so excited that you are living your dream on exchange in Illinois. I know, Alessandro, you have to go to a football game, so good luck today, and I hope you do well. Stay safe. And at this point, we'd like to stick around and talk a little bit more about the hosting experience from Ale and Manuel's host parents. How about that? Yeah. Thank you, fellas. Nice to see you. All right. They're great. I'm so happy to see the smiles and great advice that they have. Thanks for sharing and also selecting them to come into your home. So I want to talk with all of you a little bit about the hosting experience. We'll start with you, Nicole. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having us. We're really excited to be sharing our story with everybody. But my name is Nicole, and this is Jeremy Painter. And we have been with EF for about 12 years as host family and regional coordinators. We have 8 of our own children. So we are a very large, unique family here in Illinois. And we actually have personally hosted probably, I think I last counted about 14 students, and have also supervised hundreds of students. So we're very entrenched in EF, and we just love it.
Love that. Love your big family, and also how dedicated you are to Exchange. So Jeremy, why is your family involved in Exchange?
Well, as Nicole said, we are a big family. There's, we have a 7-bedroom house, and they're all full, and we love having a big family. And so EF allows us to have a big global family. We can go and visit kids and just enjoy, just our kids talk to people from around the world all day, and I don't help them. They just do it on their own, and they're talking to someone in Italy, and they know who that person is. And we love a large global family because we have children everywhere. Like Nicole said, we have 14 of just kids that have lived in our house, let alone hundreds of kids that we've supervised, and they still talk to our kids. They still talk to us. And it's just a big global family, and it truly is a blessing to everyone that lives here.
Have you been able to visit any of your students back in their home countries?
Many, and students that we have just supervised. They find out we're in Thailand and they want to come see us. We visited kids in Italy and Spain, Germany, Norway, Netherlands. Just every time we go to Europe or Asia, we're visiting somebody. So it's
I
really
love that.
nice.
I love that because you have welcomed these students into your home and shown them the pride that you have in your local community, and they are so excited not just to see you again and spend time together, but also reciprocate and show you the pride that they have in their hometown, everything they've been talking about when they were on exchange with you, and now that you get a sneak peek into their lives. So that's really great that you've been able to have that experience. Nicole, do you remember what you read about Alessandro that made you think he would be a good fit for your family and your community?
Yes, absolutely. The matching process is very, very important. And so it's important as a student that they make sure that they are their true selves in their application. And I really felt that with Ali. We call him Ali. I really felt that with Ali because he talked about so many different things about himself, you know, his likes. He talked about the activities he does. He talked about how he spends his free time. And all of those things really were in line with Jeremy and I's family. Specifically, we loved how he talked about travel, but also talked about what he does when he's not traveling. You know, because obviously when you come over here, you're not going to be able to travel every day because you have school and things like that. So what are you doing when you're not traveling? And he just really appreciates the small things in addition to those bigger things as well. And he just really loves family, which was a great fit for us.
And it's those little things that we talk all the time about on exchange. It's, yes, you're going to build memories if you go on a weekend trip to Chicago, but it's really those day-to-day moments that you're spending together, like Emanuele was saying, cooking with his host dad, Mike, or spending time with you and your family. Those are the experiences that bond you together and that are so special. And I think sometimes it takes a little bit to recognize that because we have things on our bucket list and we have goals that we want to achieve, but really the biggest reward is that bonds that you have with your host family. Jeremy, is there a favorite tradition that you're excited to share?
Well, I think there's a couple. I love just watching like horror movies and zombie movies and just sitting on the couch and watching those things with Alessandro it's a lot of fun. And a lot of our exchange students have done that. That's just something simple that we do. And it's, you know, he purposely comes down, he finds me and he finds his host brother and says, hey, you want to watch? And we're always in. The other thing is we go on a family road trip. At the end of, I'm a teacher. And so at the end of school, we get in our big van, 12-passenger van, and we take a road trip to Florida usually. And it's about the journey down there, you know, just spending time as a family. Yeah, it's a long, you know, drive, but just having that family time and getting away from everything. And we're really excited that Alessandro is able to go with us this year.
There is nothing more iconic than an American road trip. I mean, you're packing the car, you've got your snacks, you're playing card games, and all of the little things coming along the way, how many state signs you can see, how many license plates you can see, and just spending time together before, as you said, you get to your destination. That journey is so great. Definitely agree with you on that front. That's a family favorite in my household too. Well, thank you, Nicole and Jeremy. Now I'm going to ask Jamie some questions. Hey, Jamie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Happy to have you here. Jamie, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
So my name is Jamie Corcoran. I live in Central Illinois, which is like between lots of cornfields. I have been with EF for 5 years as an IEC. We've hosted 6 exchange students. I have 3 teenagers, and then my husband works at Caterpillar, and I'm Alessandro's IEC, which is also amazing. I am so proud of how well he's doing. And we're just kind of a sports-oriented family. I think we do a lot of cooking at home. We spend time together, and we definitely like to do a lot of laughing. So that's a little bit about us.
Love that. So, Jamie, you've been with Exchange for several years now. What inspires you to stay involved in hosting and working with exchange students?
I am a teacher, and I have seen that by bringing students into our community, how not only does it benefit the family, but it benefits our whole community. We do live in between a lot of cornfields, and I think we have a lot to offer students from across the world, but we learn so much about the rest of the world by bringing students here. And it's typically places that a lot of people that live in my community wouldn't travel. And I think that by having people from all over the world, we're really bridging a lot of gaps and learning about one another and all that we have in common, rather than focusing on our differences. So that's why I do it for my community. For my family, it's a no-brainer. We love having people from all over the world. Just as the painters said, I feel like I have daughters in Sweden, and I have daughters in Norway, and I have a son that lives in Japan, and I am a more global person, and I can speak about things from all over the world because I've had this honor of being a host parent, and I love it.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's such a great point, because not a lot of Americans have actually had the opportunity to travel abroad, especially to Europe and Asia. And this is such a great way to bring culture into our own communities, to expose our own children and the community to another culture and learn firsthand what it's like to know someone from another culture and another country, not just what we might see on TV.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of, in the Midwest, we definitely have strong Midwest values. And we learn a lot by bringing people in different cultures and their values and belief systems. We all grow from that. And I feel really strongly that you become a better person through things that are challenging and difficult. And everyone benefits from that. Their teachers, their classmates, their host family, and the student, and even their families in their own countries benefit from this experience.
Absolutely. And that cross-cultural exposure is impactful, not just for the teenagers, not just for the exchange students, for the actual host families, for the adults. You've had an opportunity to travel abroad, and we kind of threw you into that and said, hey, Jamie, please go on over to Italy, speak to our students who are about to come on exchange. I have a feeling that might have inspired you to host an Italian student. I'm not going to take credit for that, but you've had that experience of kind of being that fish out of water in a new place and needing to be flexible, be open, adapt, but also take in the beauty of those little moments.
Yes. And I learned with everything that was challenging, and that was so good for me. I spent 10 days. I had never ridden a train before, which I know is just blows everyone's mind from a big city or even in Europe. But I had to figure that out on my own. And it was, people who didn't speak great English, and my Italian is not good at all. And so I did hard things, and I saw things that I wanted, and I experienced all these wonderful things, and I fell in love with Italy and all of its people. And I came back and I said, Mike, guess what? Next year we're getting an Italian. And I brought 5 Italians over this year to my community. Wow. Because I think it's such an amazing culture, and I loved it so much. I wanted to share it with everyone I knew. So
I love that moment of inspiration. So we met Emanuele, who is your exchange student from Italy. So aside from him being Italian, how did you go about choosing him to join your family?
Yeah. So EF has a really great process, and we've got lots of people that can provide advice for IECs and families when picking a student. And so I spoke with my regional coordinator, who's Nicole and Jeremy Painter. And also we have some regional placement coordinators who will also help. So I got good advice. We narrowed it down to a few students. And ultimately, I wanted to go with somebody who was really interested in sports, and someone whose teacher had said they were really funny, because that's super important to us. And so that's what I looked for. But when I look for matching other families, I look at what both sets of people value and try to combine them. But out of the students I read, we just had to have Emmanuel.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure he's thrilled, and he seems so happy with your family, and it's nice to hear that he's bonded both with you, but also your husband, Mike, too, and they have activities that they can do together.
And he's on the football team with my son, which is really great. He's going to be part of senior night.
Wow.
It was incredible watching him run onto the football field because I know that he worked really hard for it, and got a little teary myself because I'm just really proud of how hard he's worked to make this successful.
And it really takes a lot to go out of one's comfort zone for students who haven't participated in that type of sport or activity before, have the courage to not just try out for the team, but the dedication of practice every single day and learning the rules, and also trying to make friends and contribute to the team. That's a lot, and that is a great testament to Emanuele and Alessandro for putting themselves forward like that.
He said he had to work really hard for that jersey number. And I know it means a lot to him. We've got to sign out in the front because even given, that that COVID is happening right now, none of that seems to be the challenge that we're focused on. It's still the same things like, I have to do my homework and I've got to manage myself, and Americans are really busy and I've got to pack my lunch, and I've got to go to 2 practices for football a day. And he's still getting all of those great experiences, and we're still focused on making friends and checking off things on that bucket list.
Jamie, any final words from you for our students coming over next school year? And then I'll ask the same to Nicole and Jeremy.
I want you to know that all of the USAEF, we are all behind you. We have IECs that will make sure you're having a good experience, that you are learning a lot. Everyone here is dedicated to making sure that this is exactly the experience that you need. Even though everyone's is different, we are committed to making sure that this is valuable and it impacts everyone involved positively. And we're really, really excited for you to come in the fall.
Thank you. And finally, Nicole and Jeremy, any final words from you to our students?
Well, I think just to add to what Jamie was saying along the same vein, we are like in awe of these students and just how brave they are. And so, come over here, be yourself, and know that you'll be embraced and you'll be loved, and that there's always somebody in your corner. Because I'll be honest, I don't know that I think my kids would be ready to do something like this. So these kids that come over, I'm in awe. I'm just so brave, and we are just so excited, so excited.
Well,
So
thank
definitely.
you so much, Nicole, Jeremy, and Jamie, for chatting with us today and bringing your exchange sons on here as well, but also for being wonderful advocates for exchange in your community. So thanks for joining us, and have fun at the game today.
Come visit Illinois.
Well, students, you are probably wondering, how do we find these great host families? And how does the whole process work? Well, let's get right into it in our next segment about host families.